You only get one chance to make a first impression. It's got to be rock solid.
Opening soon follows the true story of a restaurateur's vision from concept to opening night.
We might be a little bit behind, and I'm going to be in big trouble if it doesn't happen. I couldn't tell you how much money we have left in our budget.
I got a stomach ache all of a sudden.
There are some things you should know about Boulder, Colorado. The university town is nestled in the foothills an hour from Denver, where the rolling plains meet the Rocky Mountains. It was recently rated as the #1 sports town in America, close to some of the world's best skiing. There are fewer overweight people per capita here than anywhere in the United States. And people who live here like it a lot.
It's the perfect place. It's a little utopia.
Beautiful mountains. Boulder's kind of a lifestyle.
Brian and Stacy Benham and their big dog Jackson have an idea to make Boulder even more perfect.
Our restaurant's going to be called Dish.
Dish is going to be
Food can go further than just eating.
the best deli in Colorado.
It's not going to be your normal deli.
Picnic was a contender to be the name.
I thought it was a little too girly for me to be answering the phone going, "Thanks for calling Picnic. How can I help you?"
This is it. It used to be called Blue. It used to be a cake shop until it went under.
This might be our biggest challenge.
It definitely cannot stay blue.
It's like the bottom of a pool.
What are we going to do with a piece of marble this big?
Inspired by some of the best high-end New York delis, there'll be sandwiches by day and takeout or sit-down home cooking, only better, by night. Everything will be organic and locally sourced.
Seeing the space was kind of similar to, I don't know, getting married.
The restaurant is the first real baby for Brian and I. Wait, what table to what table?
That table right there.
Okay.
What are we going to do with all this stuff?
The space cost them $90,000, and they're spending another $45,000 upgrading it.
Congratulations and good luck.
Y'all own yourself a business.
Here's a big check for you, too.
Brian and Stacy got hitched 3 years ago and had to take a second mortgage on their house to open Dish.
You know, we don't have an option. This has to work for us.
We're definitely going to paint it.
This thing is so great because we can put our deli meats in here and our cheeses, olives, maybe a few prepared foods in here.
I love this chandelier, too. That's definitely staying. We're calling it 2006 vintage.
Maybe a brown floor and some yellow on the walls with some orange and green.
A lot of kind of antiques mixed with that chandelier.
I love using recycled materials.
Very familiar and friendly feeling, inviting.
It's all got to happen in $135,000.
And they have just 3 weeks to do it, because they can't last much longer without the cash coming in. As it is, Stacy isn't quitting her art director day job anytime soon.
What I love about Stacy is she puts up with my crap.
He's a little quirky.
She's a little messy.
He pushes my buttons.
She's not very punctual.
I love how patient Brian is.
She's always late. Stacy, come on, hurry up.
So easy to get along.
She loves talking on the phone.
He's just so darn cute.
Brian's the chef. He's from Connecticut and trained at the American Culinary Institute in New York. In Boulder, he's worked at a bunch of restaurants. At Dish, Stacy's the creative director.
For me to come in and kind of be in his world of cooking and in his business, I definitely see there could be some conflicts coming up.
But around Boulder, there's no shortage of activities to keep things upbeat. Today, it's a trip to visit some goats and farmer Pete, the goat farmer who makes goat cheese.
This is our newest invention, Gouda, and these are called the Haystack Peaks. This is the queso de mano. This is our hard cheese. Good.
Brian's convinced Boulder is teeming with foodies who will be eating out of his dish if he goes the extra mile.
That's nice. I plan on going out and visiting all my farmers and purveyors and seeing it right from the source where you can get your hands dirty and actually touch the product from whether it's in the field, from a ear of corn or a tomato, to a chicken or a pig or a goat.
Only 14 sleeps till opening, and so far, everything's been like a dream for Brian and Stacy. But tonight...
Hello, this is Brian. Yeah, we are opening a restaurant called Dish. Why? Some lady just called and said she had a restaurant called Dish. Said she had trademarked the name and everything. This is all new to me. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. I've never played one on TV before.
In Boulder, Colorado, owners Brian and Stacy Benham want Dish, the new gourmet deli, to be a little piece of heaven for local foodies.
Food can go further than just eating.
But one night, they received some strange news.
Some lady just called and said she had a restaurant called Dish.
8 days to go. Brian and Stacy don't quite know what to do about the issue of the name. But heck, they're throwing a party today. A painting party.
I'm calling it sunflower. Then we have a little pumpkin accent and pea soup.
Their friends are helping them. In fact, their friends gave them almost all the money for Dish.
That's what makes it nervous for us, are the relationships that are on the line and our friends that have been so generous to us.
No trips!
We wanted to work for them.
Stacy and Brian only had $10,000 of their own from their second mortgage on their house. They raised another $125,000 by offering shares in Dish to their friends. Today, Brian and Stacy have a plan to keep the team motivated.
If they do a really good job, they might get a sandwich named after them.
The Rachel sandwich would be
a thin layer of goat cheese, turkey Swiss,
Arugula for the lettuce,
roasted red peppers, pesto, sun-dried tomato, mustard,
some fresh cracked pepper,
and you have some sprouts,
a pancetta,
ciabatta bread.
You can put it on like a 7-grain or 9-grain bread.
Yeah, I think that would do.
Everybody gets a sandwich.
Yeah, everybody gets a sandwich. I have a feeling that this is the letter from my lawyer, about the other lady's lawyer, about the name. It says we need to cease and desist from using the word dish. This is all new to me. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. I've never played one on TV before. I guess I'll have to give my lawyer a call.
Meanwhile, it still says blue outside, so the awning guys arrived. Stacy has a plan for it.
We picked the dark brown fabric, and I'd like to have the logo painted wherever the lights are.
But Stacy doesn't realize that in Boulder, you can't do whatever you want.
We'll have to submit for the sign permit and make sure everything, the amount of signage we're allowed to put up, we're within that range.
The people at City Hall will decide if Stacy's ideas are perfect enough for Boulder, on their own schedule.
So I talked to the awning guy.
Yeah.
And we might be a little bit behind with our work.
We need to have him up by opening.
All right.
Okay, so put as much pressure on that guy as possible.
Brian's nervous. He's nervous, so, and I'm going to be in big trouble if it doesn't happen.
Just get it done.
Brian decides it's time to go home to work out some of his anxieties. He's not very familiar with conflict, since there isn't much of it in Boulder. So rather than worrying too much about the name, he's making little boards for cheese and cold cuts.
It's fun for me because I enjoy doing this almost as much as I enjoy cooking.
The next day, Brian and Stacy go off, in matching attire, to look for some cool things for Dish.
Ooh, this one's cool.
At the junkyard, they're after some moldings for the menu blackboard.
I think we're looking for something not too decorative, simple, but definitely old, weathered, looks like it's been around the block.
So far, Brian and Stacy have treated all of this like they're getting ready for a baby.
Yeah, ooh.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's cool. At the moment, I couldn't tell you how much money we have left in our budget.
I think it's made our relationship closer. Stacy and I get along better when we're working on a project. Well, we're $5 over on this one, but we'll make it up somewhere else.
One more sandwich you gotta sell.
Exactly. One less you can eat.
But then there's the issue of the name.
Pat, it's Brian Benham from Dish. Remember we talked about that that trademark, that lady that was trying to trademark the name Dish as well? Well, I finally got a letter from her lawyer. She's a lot further behind in the process. I think she's more like 2 or 3 months from opening. Okay, so basically what you're saying is we need to get open as soon as possible. But I won't have my health inspection till Tuesday, so I would need it to be after Tuesday. And I have awnings being made and chef coats being embroidered and all this other stuff that, you know, is gonna cost a lot of money to change. Okay, thanks, Pat, bye. He said it's important that we get open as soon as possible. If we sell one thing a day, we're open. It doesn't matter how much we're selling. I got a stomach ache all of a sudden.
It's all going along too smoothly, I guess. Chanting is always interesting. Oh, money. And that was lots of chanting.
In Boulder, Colorado, it was practically a party leading up to the opening of Dish, the town's primo deli.
Everybody gets a sandwich.
Yeah, everybody
gets a sandwich.
But somebody threw a wet blanket on all the fun. Somebody else wants to open a deli, also called Dish, in a nearby town.
It says we need to cease and desist from using the word dish.
And they may have beat Brian and Stacy to the punch.
Sue me, sue you.
Brian's lawyer has told them to open as fast as they can. If they open before the other Dish, then maybe they'll have more rights to the name. The lawyer says just open, even if they aren't ready and can only serve peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But that won't do for Brian.
We can't just be selling one sandwich and calling that business. You only get one chance to make a first impression on people, and it's got to be rock solid from day one.
Brian wants to open with a full menu in 3 days, a few days ahead of schedule, which means they need to pick up the pace. He's found the best local pig farmer, Farmer John.
Skin on bone-in shoulders.
Oh,
slow cook.
Those look great.
No nitrate ham steak.
Oh, that's neat. Bone in the center there, John?
Yes, right there. More flavor with the bone in.
He's trying out the best cake lady in town.
We were talking about doing like creme brulee or molten chocolate cake.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the chocolate cake.
She's got some funky new ideas.
I thought since you had all those salts up there that I could do like a salt caramel sauce with one of those salts.
Yeah. This has cinnamon in it. This is smoked cinnamon. I think you should use this one.
Brian can now check on the house signature dish.
Let's check these suckers out.
He's slow roasted John the Pig Farmer's pork bellies in banana leaves with secret spices.
That's really good.
He's even got a highly original name for it.
I guess we can call this pig in a blanket, right?
Brian thinks his piggies need a little more snuggle time in the oven. As night falls on Utopia, all seems, well, utopian again. But appearances can be deceiving. There could be issues with the restaurant's spiritual health. And so Brian has called in one of the country's top experts on the matter, Laura Lynn Baker.
From a feng shui point of view, one of the things that can slow businesses down is if there's a large tree in front of the door. And in this case, this tree is directly in front of the door. So everyone come and place your hand on the trunk. Please know that you do not have to block people from coming in the door here. We're working with you and we're calling on you to etherically let chi flow through you so you're not an obstruction, but we can think of you as a benefit.
Since the cake bakery that was here before went bust, Laura Lynn is going to make sure that that doesn't happen to Dish.
Your current situation contains all the raw ingredients or potential out of which something very valuable can emerge.
Chanting is always interesting. And that was lots of chanting there.
The chants will chase all the bad spirits off the premises. Opening night is 24 hours away.
I forgot knives.
She forgot the knives.
I dropped the ball on that one.
In Boulder, Colorado, Brian and Stacy Benham are gambling not just their money, but their friends to open the top deli in town.
It's got to be rock solid from day one.
They've done everything they can to make sure the planets are aligned in their favor. They even had experts discuss matters with the tree outside their restaurant.
Let chi flow through you, so you're not an obstruction.
6 hours till their first diners arrive. There are some technical glitches.
Here it goes. But when we pulled a couple shots today, it made this like...
Brian's just dialed 1-800-ESPRESSO, but the little man on the end of the phone is in New York. So Brian has to do it all by remote control.
You hear that? Did he?
What's more, Stacy was supposed to get cool new awnings, but she only managed to get some temporary banners up.
That was my responsibility, and I dropped the ball on that one.
And she said to me last night that, don't yell at me so much, you know?
So that's kind of a bummer, big bummer.
I'm really happy that it's close to the end, and once we're off the ground and running here, she's gonna be a lot less involved.
Oh, crap. I forgot knives.
Knives? We don't have any. This is what I can do for you for knives. She forgot the knives.
Brian's planning on cooking to order tonight, so there's very little prep he and his team can do. It's the evening menu, full course and gourmet. 1 hour to go. Thankfully, Stacy's found some knives.
I think she knows that I'm not, an angry, mean person, and I don't mean it, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, it just comes out.
Brian and Stacy started only 3 weeks ago with the Blue Former Cake Shop. They still don't know if they'll be able to use the name Dish in the long run, but tonight, on budget, thanks to the help from their friends, their little dream is coming true.
Our friends and family have been really so great in this whole process, and without them, we couldn't have done this. They've really been done above and beyond.
But there's no time for tears. They didn't hire any wait staff, so it's all up to Stacy.
This is Drunken Goat from Spain.
Drunken Goat?
And this one is fantastic. It's purple, called Purple Haze. And
The antipasto features the best of Farmer John's pork products and Farmer Pete's cheeses. There's an organic tomato bisque, garnished with fresh basil.
Super good soup.
Brian serving warm spinach salad with a bacon sherry vinaigrette and a classic Caesar.
it's excellent. Hi, guys.
For entrees, there are 2 choices. Sesame-crusted ahi tuna with wasabi polenta and haricot vert, and pork tenderloin with wild mushroom hash and grilled asparagus.
So flavorful inside there.
The cake lady flaked out, but they're still serving chocolate cake, which they bought at a bakery in town. The happy, healthy people of Boulder now have something more to be happy about. Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.